Okay, so here we're going to talk about finding the domain and range. So it doesn't matter if you write it in general form or standard form for the domain. The domain's the easy part. Unless there's a restriction on the domain is all real numbers. It's polynomial, and so there's no dividing by zero, there's no square root of negative numbers. Okay, so that's the easy part. The range, though, if it's in general form, then the vertex is at, and this is what we call the vertex formula, the opposite of b over 2a, comma, f of the opposite of b over 2a. That's the vertex formula. I feel bad that the vertex formula didn't get its own video. Okay, so you have, a parabola. Let's say it's a right side up parabola. If it's a right side up parabola, then a is greater than 0. All right, and so the range is going to go from that bottom point. And that bottom point is the y value of your vertex. So the range is going to go from f of negative b over 2a, comma, to infinity. Now, if it's an upside down parabola, then your a is less than 0, and the range is going to go from negative infinity up to f of negative b over 2a. So that's how you would do the range for those two cases. Now, if it's in standard form, I think it's a little bit easier. Here's the standard form, because we can talk about k. So again, though, you have the same two experiences here. If a is greater than 0, then it's right side up, and so the range is going to go from k to infinity. But if it's upside down and a is less than 0, then the range is going to go from negative infinity up to k. All right, so we have an example here. Find the domain and range of, and then there's the function. Okay, so the domain, no problem. Negative infinity to infinity. All right, but the range, that's a little bit trickier. So we're going to have to find the vertex. So we need to know what's the opposite of b over 2a. Well, the opposite of b is going to be negative 9 over 2 times negative 5, and then that's going to be 9/10. So now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find f of 9/10. So I plug that in, negative 5 over 9/10 squared plus 9 times 9/10. They really want us to do some fractions here. Now, I'm going to tell you, in the book, if you follow along with the book, they made an error. They didn't put the negative on the 5. So their answer's wrong. But these things happen. We all make mistakes. Okay, so now I'm going to have negative 5 times 81 over 100 plus 81 over 10 minus 1. Okay, I'm going to cancel the 5 into 100 and get 20 there. So I'm going to have negative 81 over 20 plus, now let's get common denominators, plus 162 over 20. It's addition, right? Yeah, it was a positive 9/10. Okay, so we're okay. Minus 1. And so that's going to, oops, maybe the book didn't make a mistake. They didn't have the negative 5 written, so that's why I was thinking that. All right, but maybe they did something else. I'll have to go back and look. All right, so what am I getting? A negative 81, so I have a positive 81 minus 21. Yeah, the book's right. They just wrote it differently. I don't know where they didn't have that negative 5 in there, but okay. 61 over 20, that doesn't reduce. 20 is only divisible by 2 and 5. 2 2s and a 5, so, and those don't go into 61. All right, so now, is my parabola right side up or upside down? Well, this is going to be an upside down parabola, right? Because negative 5 is less than 0. Okay, so it's going to be this case. And so my range is going to be from negative infinity up to 61 over 20. All right.